Hello, good afternoon, Miami business leaders. This is Reginald Andre, and today we are talking about money, money, money. We're talking about getting government contracts, how to get government contracts from the state, local, and federal government. Did you know that the US government is the world's largest buyer? And in today's Miami business leaders, we want you to learn how to get government contracts. And that's why we have Agnes St. Preux of Alliance Building Network. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the US government is the world's largest buyer. Last year, the federal government alone spent $590 billion. Excuse me, not, $490 billion. Miami-Dade County spent $5.8 billion. So if you have a service, if you have a business such as you have supplies, materials, commodities, any type of services that your business can do for government, you're going to want to listen to this video because Agnes is going to be talking about how to apply, how to learn about these things, and how to get money from the government. So Agnes, thank you again so much for having us. For those of the viewers that don't know who you are, tell us a little about yourself, about your business, and how did you even get started in this?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this live, and feel please free to share this live with any of your small business owners that are your friends, your people who want to start their business. You can share this. You can share this live with them. And you can also follow my Facebook page, the Alliance Building Network. I post a lot of grants and a lot of information that are resourceful for small businesses and nonprofit organizations. And you can also find us on Instagram at the Alliance Building Network as well. So like Andre mentioned, my name is Agnes St. Preux, and I am a certified grant writer specialist. I started in the nonprofit world. So I started doing grant writing compliance, reporting, and recruitment efforts. And then I did that for about 4 years. And I noticed that there was a big deficit with nonprofit organizations who were doing like a lot of work in the community, but they weren't getting funded. So I wanted to go about to see how I can eliminate that gap. And that took me to get my certification. And I started my business, which is the Alliance Building Network, as an independent consultant, writing grants and government proposals for small businesses. I also have my master's degree in health service administration from Florida International University, and I have my bachelor's in public administration.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So as I mentioned, there's all types of businesses that can do work for the government. Talk about that, because if someone has a landscaping business, I know, the government doesn't cut their own grass, right? They actually outsource that. So talk to us about all the different type of, no matter what industry you're in, more than likely the government is actually looking for someone to do it for them.
Yeah. So when I started finding this information about government contracting, I was like, I have to tell people about this. A lot of people, they don't know that you can do business with the government as long as you have most of your paperwork, which is your business paperwork, in order. But I've seen government contracts where for information technology, healthcare, consultant for just doing consultant for grant writing, consultant for human resources. I've seen a government contract for chicken leg quarters with the prison, with the Department of Corrections. So there's no limit to what you can do with the government. They outsource everything, and especially like during this time, they want to do business with small business owners and small business enterprises because of the pandemic, and they have money set aside for small businesses for that. So whether you're just starting off as a startup company or you've been in the industry for a long time, you can get your foot wet into providing your services to the government. And there's no all you need to show is that you can perform the work. And that's basically what they're looking for. And they want to give money to small businesses.
Wow, wow. Okay, so let's talk about getting your foot wet. So, what exactly are the first steps in order to even like know what's going on? Like, what does a business leader? And just so you know, our audience here in the Miami Business Leaders, we have a lot of self entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I guess they call them. You have businesses with 10 or more computers, and then we do have a lot of members here that actually have enterprise businesses. So I would say about 100 or more employees. So excuse me, not computers, more 10 or more employees. So it doesn't matter their size is what you're saying?
No, it doesn't matter the size. As long as you're capable of doing the work, you can get a government contract. So with one of my other businesses, I have a homemaker companion agency, and I started that business in 2018. And 6 months later, I went after this government contract, and I prepared my proposal exactly the way they want it, because when you are preparing your proposals, you have to format it exactly how they want it, whether they want your executive summary, your resumes, you have to format it that exactly the way they want it. And I was able to do that. And without that much experience from my business, I was able to obtain a government contract. So it doesn't matter the size, as long as you're capable of doing the work, and you have, if it's just yourself, you can do it yourself, or you have capable employees that are sufficient to provide that extra quality work that they're looking for.
Wow. So if I'm a general contractor, for example, I'm a painter, whatever the case is. So I guess you're saying is I just need to be sure that I'm licensed in the state. Like, how does that work? Like, can I just be a one-man band and just decide to go and apply, or do I have to have certain standards?
So you would definitely need to be registered with the state. You can register as a sole proprietor, as a limited liability company, or however else you want to format your organization. If you register as a sole proprietor, you can hire independent contractors to work under you. But you definitely want to ensure that you are registered with the state or whatever state you're in. If you don't have your tax information, your 2019 federal taxes or your 2018 federal taxes, you can, sometimes they would require you to write a letter just explaining why you don't have that. Then you will need, most importantly, is your general liability insurance. Most oftentimes in government contracts, some of them don't require a general liability insurance, but it depends on how big the work is. So if it's a contract over $50,000, you will definitely need to have that general liability insurance. You also need to have your business bank account information, your W-9, your local business tax receipt. And that's very important when it comes to local business preference, when you're bidding on a contract within your county or within the municipality you're in. So if you're located in the city of North Miami and you're bidding on a bid for North Miami, you get that extra bonus points because you have that local business tax and your business is shown that it's registered in the city of North Miami.
Yeah,
So
and that
yeah, and then other things you'll need is like your resume, your degrees, and any staff certifications that you may have.
Yeah, and I actually want to go back to something interesting that you said is because if you are maybe a 2 or 3 person company, or let's just go back to that landscaping contract. Maybe you can't handle it, right? Maybe it's too big, but you have the know-how how to do it, so you can actually then subcontract it. So can you talk about that a little more? Because a lot of times you'll think, oh my gosh, to do the work for Miami-Dade Public School Board and they want us to do this whole building. My company's way too small for that. But talk about how you can collaborate with other companies, subcontract, et cetera.
So that's a great question. Whether you're just starting off and you know how to do the work, and you just don't have the extra team to help you, you can reach out to vendors on every procurement website, whether it's the City of Miami, North Miami Beach. They have a list of their registered vendors, and you can reach out to those vendors and just sell them your companies. Hey, my name is Agnes, and I'm with the Alliance Builder Network, and I want to partner with your organization to do this subcontract work. Do you mind if I send you my qualifications, my capability statement to see if we can be a good fit to work on this contract together? So definitely reaching out to the registered vendors because the list is already there. Just also contacting other companies that are painters, that are general contractors, and show them like, hey, this is a bid for the city of Miami. Do you want to look at it and we can partner on it? And then you can go from there. So subcontracting is always good. Even if you're just starting off, you want to get your foot in wet little by little. That's the best way to start. And then you can also build yourself up as you grow, as your business grows as well.
Yeah, I love that. Collaborating with other companies and just going after those big contracts. So
Also,
mhm,
one more thing I wanted to add,
sure.
those government entities, they want to see partnership. They want to see small businesses linking up with larger companies, and they want to see just two small businesses together linking up to bid on a contract, because it shows that they're doing the work to perform that quality service that they want provided. So definitely subcontracting is always a good way to start as well.
Awesome, awesome. So let me ask you another question. You had mentioned reaching out to them. So there's actually like you can actually, it's not just the government putting what they need done on the website. There, you can actually talk to somebody about that.
Yes, you can definitely talk to any of the procurement staff that's there. Every website, every local municipality, every school district have a procurement website and a purchasing team that you can call. And then that normally that purchasing person, they have different people in place of. So if your business is general contracting, they have a procurement person for general contracting. You can call them, reach out to them. Hey, do you have a list of vendors I can speak to? Do you have vendors who are looking for subcontractors to perform work with them? So you definitely want to get on those websites and start looking and to see how you can start getting those government contracts.
Okay. So now let's talk about how much they paying. Okay, that's what it's all about, right? Now, are they going to go like, are they looking for the lowest bidder? Because we all know the government likes to waste money, but are they going to waste money on us, or all of a sudden they want to keep it to themselves? Like, so how do they do that?
Okay, so there can be a contract for the lowest can be $1,000, $500, and those are just, you can call a school district, you can call the local municipality and tell them that, hey, you provide the service, and that contract under $5,000, it doesn't need any approval from their board. So it doesn't have to go to the commissioners or whoever is the head person that makes those sign offs. So it can be between $500 to millions of dollars. So it depends on how big your company is, and also I guess how determined you are to get that level of funding and to grow your business. So it doesn't matter which spectrum it falls on. You just want to make sure you're out there bidding. And then another good thing about the government contracts is that it's not just for a one-time thing. Those contracts are between 3 to 5 years, or it can be even longer. And they also, and if you're doing excellent work, they would actually extend the contracts for you. And then as far as pricing, I get a lot of people who ask me, okay, I want to bid on a contract, but I don't know how to price my services, because we know that the government they're looking to spend money, but they really want to build a relationship and save as much money as they want, as they can. So when it comes to pricing on your proposals, you want to stay in between the 7 to 12% profit range. Anything over that, you're gonna they're automatically are just gonna be like, no, we can't
So
do this.
can you explain? Because like, so you're talking about my net profit?
Yeah, your net profit. So
Mm,
you would so your original price for painting would be like $250, and then you would add in if you have to pay for the supplies, if you have to pay for any delivery fees, all that is included with your pricing, plus the profit that you're intended on making.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad, and especially if you're going to get it on volume, then that's not bad. And
And then you
so,
have a constant buyer as
yep,
well.
exactly, exactly. So I see we have a lot of new people coming in. So first of all, welcome everyone to the Miami Business Leaders Group. We are a group, a Facebook group where we have business leaders, community leaders. And if you haven't registered, or if you're watching this on a replay on one of our other social media avenues, thank you so much for watching the replay. And also be sure to click on the link below so that you can join the Miami Business Leaders Group so that you actually get alerts so that when we do go live, and we're interviewing great people like Agnes about these different topics, you can go ahead and you'll be able to get notification that we're doing that. So one of the questions, Agnes, that I also have is how do they pay? Because like for me, if I got a government contract and they want to buy $3,000 computers and they're at $1,000 each, that's $30,000. Do they work with you in the sense of like hey, do they say when you give us the computers, we're going to pay you, or are they going to do like half now, half later? So how do they work with small businesses like me that don't have that type of cash on hand just to lay out until the final product is in their hands?
So oftentimes they work on you provide the service, then you would get paid. Sometimes that you can get paid. So they would pay you based on you provide the service, and then 6 months later you can get reimbursed. You can also get reimbursed afterwards. So it depends on the contract, really, what it says in the statement of work and how they plan on paying you. But oftentimes it's basically you provide the service and then you get paid afterwards. And then also, so they would say, I need 3,000 computers, but they're not going to purchase those 3,000 computers all up front. They can purchase them within 3 months. So you can have so you wouldn't want to buy 3,000 computers thinking they're going to buy all the 3,000 computers from you. So they'll send out another bid or quote, and with that quote they'll be like, we need 300 computers. And then once you provide that those 300 computers, and if you're the lowest bidder, you can get paid for that service. You'll deliver it to them, and then afterwards they'll send you a purchase. Well, they'll send you a purchase order. You deliver it to them, and then you will get paid.
Okay, and we do have a question from our audience. Someone says, Sabrina is saying, hi, Agnes, thank you so much for being on this. One time I tried to apply for a contract and they wanted a DUNS number and NAICS. What does that mean?
So your DUNS number is like your business social security number. So that gives your business credit ratings when you do business with the government. So you would need that number, and you just go on duns.com or duns.org, I believe, and the application is fairly simple, and you within 2 or 3 days you'll get that number. So the NAICS code is basically that depicts your primary service of business. So if the next code is if you provide healthcare services, you'll choose any number between. They have like different numbers, so it'll be healthcare clinics, home health organizations. That is the North American industry classification system number for the NAICS code. And then you'll also need, if you're applying for a federal contract, you'll need a SAM number, which is the System Award Management number. And that lets them know that you're qualified to do business with the federal government, and it helps them identify who you are in their system when it comes time to get paid. And with the SAM's number right now, most of the time you have to send in like a whole bunch of documents and get stuff notarized. But since we're in the pandemic, they're waiving most of the requirements, and then you can get your SAM's number within a week or so. So I would definitely encourage a lot of people, if you're interested in just getting a federal contracting, to get that SAM number. And then on the nonprofit side, you will need that SAM number as well for government grants.
Wow, I think that's awesome. And this is so interesting because a lot of people are talking about hey, business is slow and things like that. And you mentioned earlier the government actually wants to help people. find this. So let's talk about that process, for example. So we're going to go back. We're going to use the painter. The Miami-Dade Public Schools has a middle school, and it's time to, paint the room or paint the building or whatever the case is. So explain that process from the beginning where they post it to the end when they award the contract. Just to I want to know, like, how long does that take and what is that process?
So most of the time, well, oftentimes they'll post a solicitation if it's not already awarded to somebody else, but they'll post a solicitation for painting services. And they give you an X amount of days, it can be a month or a couple weeks to submit your proposal. And within that proposal, they can ask you to tell them about your executive summary, tell them about your team, if you have any certifications. You want to put all of those things in your proposal, and then you submit it on the due date or before the due date. You don't want to wait that last minute to submit your proposal. So once you have everything submitted, you would need the timing. It depends on the governmental agency. I've seen some of them, it can be like 6 months, but if the service is like a real need, especially with the school system, it can be up to like two months or less. And once you're awarded the contract, you can quickly go in and start performing the services. Or if they have a group of vendors that all got awarded the contract, because sometimes they're looking for multiple vendors, sometimes they're just looking for one vendor. So if they have multiple vendors, then they're going to send you another bid, which will be a quote for, and they'll send that to all of the vendors. And once the person who has the lowest bid, they'll give them that contract to work on. And then they try to work on a fair ground, so everyone gets a round table at getting some type of money from them. So they'll perform the work after they have the lowest bid, and then they can get paid afterwards. So the process can be like 3 months or less, but sometimes it can be longer. And then if they're over budget, sometimes they go over budget, or sometimes they have the cut budget. You already have a government contract, you probably might not see any activity within that. So you want to start at least not just focusing on one school district, but you want to go into the local municipalities, Broward County Public Schools, and different areas.
Wow. Yeah, that's very true because there's, I think Miami-Dade, there's 34 counties, or one of them has 34 counties. I was looking up that. So you have Broward County, the county, then you have the cities within Broward County,
Yeah,
right?
so that's a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
That's a
Then
lot of ways to do business.
you have the Parks Department, the police department, and like all of those are just broken down after like category after category. And then you have do hospitals, do the public hospitals, does that count as well?
Yes, yes. Public hospitals does it as well, especially if you're in the healthcare field. Jackson Hospital, they look for linens, they look for devices when people are sick. They look for anything. They even outsource home health services. So it's so many different avenues. Whether you have a catering company, or you sell smoothies and salads during when they have like Black History Month and Veterans Day, or whatever day it is that they're celebrating, they want outside vendors to come in and provide food to their staff and all that stuff. So there's so many different opportunities. Like I said, I have to tell people about it because not I don't want everybody to just focus on the consumer side, but also on the bigger scale as well, because it can help you grow your business when you actually go searching for different ways to bring in revenue for your business.
Awesome. And I'm going to rewind on two things you just said. You said minority and you said veterans. And obviously in South Florida, we have a lot of that. So what does the government do, or do they do anything specifically for minority-owned businesses, be it race or a woman or anything like that, and also for our veterans? Today's Veterans Day. Thank you all for your service, for any veterans listening today, and the sacrifice you've made. So talk about that real quick.
So with minority business owners, especially for women owners and veteran business owners, there's different certificate. You can get a small business certification, which lets them know that you're a women-owned business or you're a veteran-owned business. And now these agencies are trying to reach out to them even more. Um, because they see the need for the economic development that needs to be within the communities. Because if you have a small business within the community, it brings about jobs for other people within that community, and it brings about economic development, and it strengthens the community as a whole. So they started these networking events for women-owned businesses. I know Palm Beach County every year or so they have a women's empowerment in business, and they want to just let women who are in business know that we have people who can support you. We have people who can support you in your business and help you get a government contract. And then with veterans, those are like the number ones because they served our country. So they have that certification just to let them know, hey, this is a veteran-owned business. And they also do provide those networking opportunities where you can go pitch your business to them, and then they can also give you a contract. And then especially if you are a veteran-owned business, you want to get that certification and then reach out to the VA hospital, to any veteran organization that provides services to get those contracts. So definitely they're doing a lot, and I believe now it's going to be way more efforts being based on small business owners, especially for minority women businesses and veteran-owned businesses.
Awesome. So well, if someone is a veteran, do they get priority in the contract? Like,
They would definitely get priority, and it gives them, so with the proposals or the contracts, they score you on a point system. So it'll be 100 points, and if you're already identified as a veteran-owned business or a minority-owned business owner, you automatically get that 25 points that puts you ahead of the game, aside from the larger companies who can't get that small business certification or the veteran certification. So you get those extra points, and then, like I said, having that local business preference, you get another extra 25 points. So you're already at 50% to win in the contract compared to somebody else who doesn't have anything.
right.
So definitely there's a lot of support for women-owned businesses and veteran-owned businesses.
Okay, and thank you again for everyone for watching this. We are the Miami Business Leaders. We have Agnes St. Preux here with the Lions Business Network, and we're talking about getting that money from the government and taking advantage of the industry that they have and the work that they need from the local community. So we do, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them on the comments below. We are watching that. And we did have a question from Jeff. And he's saying, okay, so you mentioned that it is a 3-month process to get the work. Is that correct? Is what he's saying?
It can be a 3-month process to get the results of who won that bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess he needs some clarification on that. So okay, so if I am a small business owner and I'm putting in, contracts here, contracts there, I know that some of my competitors and some of the big boys are also doing it. And you talked about lowest bidder. I'm a smaller company, and I have to maybe have my prices a little higher because I don't have the same type of volume as the bigger guy. So does the government do anything with, like, so here I am, the small guy with 10, 11 employees, and then now this national company comes and just like goes under me on a cheaper price. Do they take that into account as well?
They do take it into account. And for most small businesses, I recommend to start looking for contracts where they're seeking multiple vendors, because you have a higher chance of getting the contract when they're just seeking that one vendor. Because oftentimes that one vendor is the person who probably had the contract years before you.
Mm.
So so you want to look for those contracts that has multiple vendors. So when you do get up there, you don't have to worry about the pricing factor and being undercut by the larger company. And you asked another question. I didn't remember what it was.
Actually, I don't remember, but with that said, though, since everything is like public information, right? Can't you like, because you're talking about undercutting. So like, let's just, again, we're going to go back to the painter, or if you're, so if you know, can you figure out, or can you request how much last year did the guy painting that building charge? So that way you have an idea of, okay, this is what they're looking to do. Like, is that information, or that be kind of cheating?
Yeah, that information is public information. Most governmental agencies, they don't have it on their website. So you would definitely have to reach out to the procurement director and just to ask them for a request of the price and proposal off the last bid that they had. And they can give that. They have to give it to you. They can't tell you, no, we can't share that information with you. They have to give you the pricing structure of the last bid that was before yours. So you can ask for that. I also look at their annual budget just to see how much money they spend on certain things. And that gives me an idea, okay, this is how much this contract might be. And this is how much I can probably price my services for. So definitely it's public information. Whatever city it's in, whatever district it's in, you want to reach out to that contract, to that procurement agency, and then ask them for that price and proposal structure. And also on those bidding platforms, they have a section where you can ask questions. And then in the question comments, you can put that there, and then they'll share it for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
But only if you ask. If you don't ask, it's not gonna be shared with you.
Yeah, and I want to make sure everybody got that point. So if, for example, you're a landscaper, or you're providing uniform services, or whatever the case is, and you're like, man, I usually charge $20 for, per polo shirt, but I don't know, they want 5,000 shirts. I've never done an order that large, but I know every year they're providing their employees shirts. So what you can basically do is just ask a request and say, hey, how much did you pay last year for the $5,000 shirt? And then at least now because obviously you don't want to go too low and you don't want to go too high. And I would imagine that they're going to take some type of consideration on the percentage. So if you normally charge 20, but because it's 5,000 shirts, they're used to paying 19, then you go 18.99 or you go 19.01. But at least you're not going at 25 or 16 just to get the job, because you don't want to be the lowest bidder and then now have to do all this work. And then when you look at your profit, it's like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. You want to make sure they win and you win as well.
Exactly, because I'm sure the government's going to make you sign a contract that says, we don't want to hear no sad story from you about you not making the money. And by the way, if you don't provide this, our little buddy here, the police, is going to be on knocking on your door, because we want our refund, and I'm sure they may leave a bad review on you. So you
Yeah,
definitely want
you
to be
do
careful.
actually, and that when that does happen, you default on your contract, whether it is you didn't provide the service correctly, or there was some type of mishap or miscommunication. They fault you for that, and then you'll lose the contract, and then that also goes on your DUNS report for your
Oh,
business. Yeah, so
ah,
it'll let them know. It'll let other governmental agencies that, hey, this person has a bad report with this with the city of Miami or something. So you want to make sure that you're actually performing good quality work and have great customer service.
awesome. So we do have another question from the audience. Nalia Pierre wants to know, where do we go to find contracts, and can your network help us with the searches as well as guiding us through the necessary steps in obtaining one?
Definitely. I created a list because I like to give people tangible things and I like to give people homework sometimes. So I created a list of all the websites you can go on and just get an idea of what you can do. So the list, and I'll share it on my Facebook page and I'll give it to Andre as well. Or you can just send me an email so I can give you that list. And it has all the links of where to go to register with Miami-Dade County, Broward County, the platform list of where to find bids and where to find government contracts. So I already have that list, but if you want to like search now, you can check out BidSync, which is now called Periscope, Demand Star, vendor link, and then with that list I have is going to have different links, so you can just like maneuver through it and just pretty much get an idea of what you'll be getting into.
Okay, awesome. And we have somebody else asking, what is the SBA 8A Business Development Program? Not to put you on the spot there. 8A, does that make any sense?
Oh, that program is basically, that's on my list as well.
Okay.
And it basically identifies you as a small business owner and a small business enterprise, and it gives them the authority to actually just give you that one company a contract. So once you have that certification, whatever service you provide, you'll get a referral from one of their contracting officers, and then they can reach out to you to see if you can submit a proposal, and then you can actually obtain that government contract. With the SBA, they want to, and actually all government wide, they want to at least have small businesses get those certifications, because they have at least 20, they want at least 23% of small businesses with governmental contracts. And the SBA, well, the government total, they spend about $594 billion a year just buying stuff. So
That's
why
crazy.
not your small business?
Yeah, and prior to our call, you talked about the Miami-Dade statistic. Can you share that one?
Yes. So with the Miami-Dade County, they have about 5.8 billion dollars in contracts, and they only have 12,530 30 registered vendors within the state of
Wow.
Florida. Well, oftentimes most of them aren't in the state of Florida, and then they only have 1,200 active contracts. So somebody is getting a whole bunch of money out of that $5.8 billion. And this is why I want people to know about these different opportunities, because everyone deserves a piece of the pie. Whether you're doing it on the consumer side or in the public sector, you should look for different streams of revenue to grow your business and to make that relationship so you can help yourself and then help your business grow.
Let me repeat that again. You said Miami-Dade has, they're giving Miami-Dade, and we're talking about Miami-Dade County?
County, only Miami-Dade County. Their total budget is about $6.4 billion for the year. So a large percent of it goes to outsourcing work. Yeah.
How much? Yeah, I guess the rest probably is
$5.8
payroll,
billion.
but
Yeah.
$5.8 billion in contracts. They only have they have 12,500 registered vendors and only 1,200.
1,237 active contracts.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I also, Broward County, they reserve $250,000 for small businesses. So you can do whatever it is. And on Broward County website, they have a list of all things that they can't outsource. And I see in ice cream vendors, t-shirt companies, everything. The Florida Department of Health spends about $15 million a year in providing out and outsourcing work. So there's so many, and that's just three of the governmental agencies we're talking about.
Yeah, because even you think of Department of Transportation, all of that construction, the red light cameras or maintaining those things, like all of that is outsourced, because even like we talked about the hospital, their business is to be, to have the doctors, to have the nurses for the
Yeah.
care. They're not trying to be an expert in roofing and trying to do landscaping and uniforms. They just need to stroke the check and move on, because they're priority. And it's the same thing I would say for my business leaders. It's the same thing for you. If you're like, we are an IT company, we provide cybersecurity and IT services. But am I sitting here doing marketing every day? Am I sitting here, trying to figure out the best way to do layouts? And no, I just stroke the check. You guys, you take care of it. I delegate it, take care of it. And that's the same thing. The only difference is it's the government and it's a huge, way different level, but it's the same concept.
Definitely, definitely. So you
Awesome,
want to
awesome.
get their
So
foot in the door.
yeah, yeah. So Agnes, as we wrap up, is there anything else that maybe we have missed or you had in your notes that you want to talk about?
Um, I just wanted to just go over a few things that I wrote down, just
Sure.
ensuring that you have your small business certification. We assist with all of that process. You can send us an email, send us a DM if you need to get your business certified within the state of Florida. That link, those links that I have, you can send me an email, and it has all the links that you need to start getting your certification and to register as a vendor for local municipalities and businesses. And then I also wanted to share that if you are interested in applying for government contracts, ensure that you have a business plan, because it helps when you start providing your proposal. And if you don't want to write your proposal, you can always reach out to the Alliance Builder Network, and we would gladly provide that service for you. But once you have your business plan, they ask, like I said, they ask for your executive summary, they ask for your resumes, your staff qualifications, and most of that information is already in your business plan. So you can just extract that information from your business plan and put it into a proposal the way they want it. And then you can go on, cross your fingers, and wait for that government contract and wait for that money to hit your bank account. And then I also wanted to share about it's just now, since we are in a pandemic, they used to have a lot of networking events for small business owners. And now they're doing it online. So you want to register with those vendors and sign up for their email blast to see what opportunities are going to come up for you down in the future. And then just reach out to one of the procurement team and say, hey, my name is so and so, and this is the type of business that I have, and I want to know what opportunities are coming up. Are there any larger companies that are looking for subcontractors? So just to start getting out there, and then expanding your resources to bring in income.
Awesome. Now we did have someone else as we wrap up, but Tanya was mentioning about grant writing. So because my understanding is a grant is when they're giving you something to do, they're giving you money, but then the contract is, well, go ahead, you're the expert. You explain the difference between grant and contract, and also does the government give grants?
Government does give grants. It depends on the type of service that you do. So if you're doing like social services where you're taking care of the elderly, doing stuff with people that are disabled, you can get a grant for that. As far as government contracts, you're basically providing a service. So whatever service that they need t-shirts for their staff, they need masks, they need PPP wear, they need new cell phones for their board members or something. That's the service you're providing. So that's just a fixed amount, a dollar amount. You don't have to do any reporting. You don't have to show how you spent their money once they paid you, like grants. So the difference with grants is just that you're providing, with grants, you're actually doing something meaningful for the community, or you're doing some type of research to impact a certain target population. And then the government contracts is you're actually providing a service to get paid for your work.
I see, but is it normally the same process?
The proposal is normally the same process sometimes, but in grants, they want to know who are your target audience, what impact do you plan to make, or what problem do you plan on solving? So that's the only difference, just the data side of it, basically.
I see. Awesome. Awesome. So now let's talk about your services. So so we talked about the steps to go, websites to get, you got to go through this person and do a networking event. So what is it? How do you help people, busy people, I would say, and people that, just want to focus on their business and not get into the weed of things, but want that opportunity?
I like to think of myself as the paperwork person. So I do all the paperwork for you so you don't have to stress about, oh my gosh, this proposal isn't done on time. So I provide grant writing services, grant writing research, um, bid writing or solicitation proposal writing. And the research, I provide the research as well. And we also provide online and remote notary. So we can be on Zoom or, well, an approved platform. And I can notarize your paperwork documents. And then I also provide workshops on how to prepare your bid and how to write a grant as well. And then we're expanding. So anything you need as far as getting the research to a bid or finding information about a bid that you want to find the pricing on, that was for last year or a previous bid, we provide all of those services. We also help with minority business certification if you need to get your local business tax receipt for what the county you're in or the city you're in. We also assist with that process as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Agnes, for coming on today. Guys, this was great information. If your business has taken a slump because of COVID and you're just looking now, because I always say, don't put your eggs in one basket. I mean, this is a whole conversation, but don't put your eggs in one basket. You know, you should have some business coming from one industry or one vertical, another business coming, another business coming from there, maybe split it up a third, but definitely having one basket or one of your buckets, the government, which last time I checked, I mean, they may have to go borrow the money, but they're going to pay their bills, right?
They're going to pay
Right,
their bills,
right.
of course.
They may have to go to, Uncle China and borrow some money, but they're definitely going to, or I guess rob Peter to pay Paul, but they're definitely going to pay their bills. They're definitely going to pay it on time. I imagine they're even doing direct deposit these days. So definitely Miami business leaders, you don't want to put all of your business in one basket. We've seen, unfortunately, a lot of people here in South Florida where maybe the airport, for example, was their biggest their biggest client, or a certain company was their biggest client. And then when that went down, their business just went down to zero. And if you're able to now be able to spread the type of revenue you're getting from different sources, so at least if one goes down, you still have 2/3 of business in another category, another service. So that's definitely why you want to look into it. It is a big process. So it is Agnes will hold your hand through this process. She can maybe hold your hand from the beginning to the end, or just show you the ropes, and then from there you take it on. And a lot of times you're talking about millions of dollars that the government wants to outsource, and I'm sure they're going to take in the way you write it, your staff. They're going to there's a lot of tricks to it. It's not just filling out an application, turning it in, and waiting 3 months, and then you got the money. You have a lot of big boys going after this money too. And in order to compete against the big boys, you're going to need someone like Agnes and her services to help you navigate through that, because we've done it and it is not easy. We've been successful, and there's been times where we haven't gotten it. So definitely, we put in the notes in the chat on how you can reach Agnes via LinkedIn, her phone number, her website, etc. So thank you so much, Agnes. Thank you so much, Miami business leaders, and we'll see you next week as we have Norman. And Norman is a friend of mine, but he helps you work harder and not smarter when it comes to Microsoft Office and Microsoft and G Suite. So if you're in front of your computer all day and you have to go from one window to another window, and you have Excel open and you just need all of these things to talk about, Norman is actually a genius when it comes to that. So view us next week on the Miami Business Leaders page. Just click on the link, answer 3 questions, and you'll be in, and the conversation will be continuing there. Thank you so much, Agnes, and we'll see you next week, everyone.
Awesome. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.